Thank you for watching or listening to Targeted West. This is DJ Chris. We have a website you can check out. It's targetedwest.com. You can send me an email from there if you'd like to be a guest on the show or make a comment. This is show number 200. We made it to 200, believe it or not. And today is the 22nd of February, so it's show number 200, and it's 2/22/2026. And we'll be talking about MKULTRA, MKTECH, and the opinions of our guests and the participants, that of their own and not that of DJ Chris or Targeted West. It's 65 degrees here in beautiful Lodi, California, and all the cats are asleep. So here we go. First, we're going to talk about MKTECH, and we're going to talk about that type of stuff. We, of course, have a recording to play, and we have a book club intro to play right now. So here we go. For the book club, TI Book Club, join now today, and you get more information on the recording. Here we go.
Time for the TI Book Club, where every book opens a door to new worlds and shared journeys. Here, we uncover hidden gems, specially selected for TIs, and always within your reach. Be part of a community that reads together, grows together, and sees the world through the same lens. Don't just listen to stories, live them with us. Join now at bookclubs.com/TIBookClub/join, and let's turn the pages of adventure together.
Join today for free. The book I put back into the currently reading section is called MKTECH Invasion and Mind Control, Volume 1 by Felipe Savoia. It's available on Amazon. You can get your copy. I have both Volumes 1 and 2, and I'm featuring excerpts from book number 1 tonight, Volume 1. And it's about MKUltra 2.0 or MKTECH, and the book goes into detail about how they're hacking our brains and putting voices in our head. I suffer from V2K or telepathy and have constant voices telling me one or the other things. They can't make up their mind. So, it just goes on. It's crazy. We, of course, are a peaceful work group that gets together, and one of the things we do is study books, and the book club helps us keep track of that. So this book that we're talking about now is featured in a recording that I have here to share with you. So without further ado, the visual part is just the book cover for you on audio, and so there's nothing to see. It's mostly audio. Here we go.
Chapter 2.2 V2K- Voice to Skull, Intracranial Voice or Microwave Hearing Effect. In the previous chapter, we've seen how to extract an individual's thought straight from the mind as the thought is processed by the responsible cortical areas. So now we're going to look at how to insert sounds and voices directly into the brain. This is the second sub-technology used in the mind control technology system. Although this technology is being discovered by the general public just now and in the form of psychotronic weapons, V2K is an old technology. It comes from the mid-60s and 70s, but it started in the creation of the radar. The first radar was built in 1904 by Christian Hülsmeyer in Germany. At that time there was no practical use for the device of low accuracy and inefficient echo detection system that was difficult to build. In the early stages of radar development, there were no devices capable of producing radio waves at the desired frequencies with reasonable powers. The common vacuum tubes weren't yet sufficiently developed. Even if they were, they still faced serious difficulties in producing waves at very high frequencies. The first practical device capable of producing high-frequency signals for radar application was the cavity magnetron, created in 1921. In 1934, French engineer Émile Girardot registered a patent for his work on a multi-frequency radar system. As Pierre David reviewed electromagnetic theory, he encountered the study carried out by the German and then began experiments for the development of high-frequency wave detection systems, efficient for the location of airplanes. Simultaneously, Henry Gutton and Maurice Pont managed to create a detection device that worked with great precision. Still in 1934, in the Soviet Union, engineer Pavel Kondratayevich Olshepkov, who received the Order of Lenin, Order of October Revolution, invented RAPID, a radar system that could detect the presence of an airplane 1,865 miles away. In 1935, the United States attained its first single-frequency radar through the work of Dr. Robert Page. At the beginning of World War II, Watson Watt improved and developed new technologies by using the fixed and rotating telemetry system. There was a more rapid evolution in radar technology during the Second World War. Both the British and the Germans were involved in a race to produce larger and more sophisticated radars. The race was largely won by the British, who knew how to use more effectively the radar system they had. But what is radar? Radar means radio detection and ranging. It's an electromagnetic sensor that detects and locates targets by means of reflection, composed of a transmitting-receiving antenna of super high-frequency signals. The transmission is an electromagnetic pulse of high power, short period and very narrow beam. During propagation through space, the beam expands in a cone shape until it reaches the target being monitored. The beam is then reflected and returned to the antenna as it creates the image, the echo. There must be no obstacle between it and the target for the radar to work. The wavelengths must be as short as possible, within certain limits, which implies very high frequencies, so that we can detect small objects. Thus, the greater the power, the more echo we have and the easier it will be to detect an object, however far and smaller it is. It's known that the distance from the object can be easily calculated by the constant speed of pulse propagation, and by the time of arrival of the echo. It's also possible to know if the target is moving away or approaching the station, due to the Doppler effect. That is, due to the frequency gap between the emitted signal and the received one. 2.2.1 The history of the intracranial voice. The microwave hearing effect, or intracranial voice, is a well-established phenomenon that began in the 1960s through research by Dr. Alan H. Frey, an American neuroscientist who studied the phenomenon and was the first to publish an article on the topic, involving radar hearing. It was found that roughly 0.3 of a watt per square centimeter of skull surface is required to generate the clicks from which the voice is synthesized. This is considered a primitive form of digital audio. Other notable contributions to the early development of the microwave hearing effect include Dr. Joseph Sharp, Ph.D. in psychology and neuroanatomy from the University of Utah. The voice-to-skull transmission was successfully demonstrated by Joseph Sharp for the first time in 1974. It was performed with Dr. James Seeland's pulsed microwave transmitter at the University of Utah at a seminar presented to the engineering and psychology faculties. The transmitter was then described in the American Psychologist Journal in 1975. The experiment is based on the fact that a medium to high-frequency microwave radar pulse can produce an audible click in the auditory cortex of a person who is resonating with the pulse signal. The effect has been called radar hearing since World War I when it was first detected. In 1976, the Los Angeles Herald-Examiner reported that the Soviets were also conducting extensive research on the microwave auditory effect. This issue was brought to the attention of the U.S. Defense and Intelligence Agency, and it was described as words that appeared to be originated from inside a person's skull. Dr. Joseph Sharp used a computer to produce a microwave radar pulse every time the speaker's voice wave were oscillated, every time the sine wave crossed the zero reference in the negative direction. The voice was modulated into a new signal, into a microwave pulse capable of being demodulated by the brain. This experiment is neither secret nor classified. It's available to the general public. On the other hand, The continuity of the experiment by the military, as an electromagnetic or psychotronic weapon, is in fact classified as top secret and is unavailable for public consultation these days. The result was that when Dr. Joseph Sharp sat near the device in front of the microwave transmitter emitting pulses, as shown above, he was able to hear a robotic voice counting the numerals from 0 to 9. Afterwards, the experiment was discontinued by Dr. Sharp and became a state project. It started to be developed by military and intelligence departments such as the CIA and KGB. The race for silent, invisible weapons that affect all living organisms on the planet with a focus on the bioelectricity of the most developed brains had begun. Most researchers from the mid-19602 to the early 1990s have concluded that bone conduction is the physical mechanism that allows for microwave hearing. Bone conduction is just a secondary pathway for sound transmission in humans and most other mammals. The microwave auditory effect is a scientific fact. Existing radar units can be modified to transmit a beam of pulsed microwave energy into anyone's skull at ages ranging from 0.8 to 100 years, and across the planet, which causes sounds of any nature to be interpreted by the auditory cortex. The sounds, which appear to originate from inside, from above, or from behind the head, are transmitted to the inner ear through bone conduction. There is no external noise. Other people around the person who is configured to receive the pulse cannot hear the microwave content, the sound itself, and the pulse can be applied thousands of miles away from the target.
Thank you, Robot Lady, for that. That was a direct excerpt from the... what is that noise? Put you on mute. That was an excerpt from our book club that we run every week. A new book is available. We have a second book tonight as a bonus about COVID that you might be interested in by Dr. Robert Malone. That'll be later in the recording. Now it's open mic for discussion about MKUltra. Do you have a history in your family of MKUltra? I know my cousin picked up the phone from my other cousin and told me he hears voices. That's a fourth family member in the clan of mine that hears voices. Is that not wild? So any discussion about that? Come on in. Hey, Jackie. Oh, so your great aunt was MKUltra. Yeah, it is the CIA, of course. That's who talks in my head. Through the DOJ, of course.
Yeah, I experienced the same thing. My sister, after I went public and started talking about this stuff on interviews, my sister started getting V2K as well, and they were posing as my mother, saying that my mother was poisoning her pets and stuff like that, and she ended up in a mental ward.
Oh, that's wild. That's terrible for them to do that to you. Yeah, it seems to be generational and family-oriented. They look like they've gone after my family, I believe, since 1955.
Yeah, my family's targeted, my immediate family, but I can tell they're targeted, but they're not tortured. I mean, they're not aware of it, and they don't hear voices or anything, but I can tell by the things that happen to them and the series of events in our family's life that the unfortunate happenings that it's some sort of this program.
Ben, you may want to check that echo you got going. So it's 1980 for caller 00. Well, officially, I think my dad was targeted. He said he heard voices. I used to watch him walk around the block talking to the air, swinging his hands around, yelling. And I go, he's having a conversation with himself. But yeah, he had the same problem I did. Mine started after 9/11, after the Patriot Act was signed. So who knows who's doing it to me. But from what I can gather, it's someone who is very law and order in nature.
Hello.
Hello, how are you? Come on in.
Hi. Sorry to interrupt. My name's Sunshine.
Oh, hi, Sunshine. I heard you on a call the other day.
Who is this?
This is the moderator, DJ Chris.
Oh, DJ Chris. Hi. Yeah, I'm back home in California, and they've followed me here. It's just I just can't believe it. Like, I'm in a little town outside of Temecula called Awanga.
Do you get MKUltra, or do you think you're part of MKUltra?
I know of it. I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, I just know that I was special since I was 5 years old. Like, when I say special, I had super, super, super high levels of intelligence, of artistic ability, of ESP. They tried to recruit me for the psychic program when I was 18. And I said, I don't work for governments and I don't work for groups. I'm a free agent.
It sounds like you were in MKUltra for sure, yeah.
Well, how old are you? You would be able to tell probably that way.
33.
33, yeah, that's about right.
The Hopi Indians call me a rainbow warrior. I'm supposedly one of the ones who, when the earth starts to go down like this, like Armageddon or whatever, when it gets zombie apocalypse, which is really what it's feeling like now, that I'm one of the ones that are supposed to help what's left over, what remains, and establish the new earth.
Well,
That's what the Hopi legend says.
We'll let you share. We're in the middle of a technical discussion about MKUltra, so hang in there.
Okay.
And at 7 o'clock, the recording ends, and we will have you come on and tell us your story. How's that sound? Which is 45 minutes from now. Thank you.
Awesome. I would love to know more. Thank you.
May I ask
Michelle? Hello, Michelle. I'll go ahead. Yes.
Oh, sorry. I know a Sunshine, and I wonder if this is the same Sunshine I met here in Seattle, Washington. We worked at a Jack in the Box together. So if it's the same Sunshine, say hi to me. This is Kia.
No, I've been born and raised in San Diego, California my whole life.
You're my second Sunshine I've met then.
Well, thank you. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I would love to know more about MKUltra. Please, yeah, tell us more. I would love to know more.
Well, if anybody's interested, go to Amazon and look up MKTECH Volume 1, Invasion and Mind Control by Felipe Saboya. And that book is pretty much explaining completely how the targeting works. Now, Ben, you wanted to comment about how your sister is being affected by V2K now. So it is probably in your case MKUltra.
Yeah. I mean, my mother initially, we come from Massachusetts, which is one of the main hubs, where the MKUltra projects were. And I think she was initially targeted. She was put into institutions and suffered electroshock therapy. Very strange stuff happened throughout her life. Had lots of military around and feeding her large amounts of LSD. She told me that she had strange out-of-body experiences, and which links back to, MKUltra. MKUltra is kind of a blanket term, which is linked to a lot of other government projects, including Project Stargate and Project Gateway, where they were they were researching into higher consciousness states and people that were able to achieve that, where they were basically trying to figure out the link between, it links into their research into, astral projection and remote viewing and all these type of things. And I think that that's kind of what was going on. And when I got targeted, I went forward and started talking about this stuff, and I was coming at it from more of the technological standpoint and the tech involved. But when I went forward and started doing interviews, they immediately hit my sister, who's a very sweet girl, but she's developmentally delayed, and she immediately started hearing the voice of my mother saying that my mother was murdering her pets, and she freaked out, and now she was put in a mental ward, and now it looks like she refuses to go back to stay with my mother, who's her caretaker, and will be put into like a state-run group home where she'll be alone, and refuses to speak to my mother because she's convinced she could hear my mother like through the wall talking to her, saying that she was poisoning her cat and stuff like that. It seems to be a direct attack as like a retaliatory thing. But I mean, they do this stuff otherwise, and they want to make you feel guilty, like it's your fault for coming forward and talking about this stuff as like a, kind of a way to scare you out of talking about stuff and keep you silent. But yeah.
They do that to me. They're always saying not to say what they say in my head.
Yeah, a lot of that. And some of it is to try to trick you into talking about it out loud. They try to feed you disinformation, misinformation, and to try to spread, crap. But I mean, whatever I experienced, I always did a lot of research to try to back it up with to try to make sure that it made sense. Because a big part of this is we're dealing with intelligence agencies that are very good at tricking people and trying to spread propaganda and misinformation. So you have to really be careful about especially the V2K angle of things. What you repeat back to people, what you start to believe, because they really want to fill your head with a bunch of bullshit, basically.
That is true. They do. And I know the dreams I'm having are filling me up with misinformation and giving me false memories, and people could fall for that. Your sister fell for the V2K. People could fall for the dreams, and I know you're getting dreams too. Part of MKTECH is D2K, which is dreams to skull, which is another technology altogether. I wrote a book about it. It's on Amazon, called My Synthetic Dreams, so check it out. But Ben, what do you think about that?
Oh, that's interesting. I never heard the term D2K. I like that because when I found actual TIs here in the wild here in Massachusetts, they all had synthetic dreams. They were all experiencing weird dreams that followed the same kind of pattern. So I know that is a huge part of this, and it's something that people don't talk about a lot. So I'm going to definitely check out your book.
Yeah, check out. I think it's 99 cents. It's inexpensive. It's not that much, and it talks in detail about how synthetic dreams work and what the ideas behind it, how they can get indigenous people to move from an area, take over their land, and other things. Break up a relationship.
Do you know what perception management is?
I don't, but you'll tell me.
Well, it's a form of propaganda or brainwashing, where you want to fill your target with nothing but disinformation, but you start with true facts, so you could bait them, so you could bait your target with true facts, and then you just start bombarding with nothing but falsehoods. So that's perfect. It's a science, and then you keep your target just completely in a falsehood bubble. That's how when people start listening to one form of, for example, news cycles, like news networks, for example, they fall into that, and we as targets, we fall into the same thing with the dream to skull. They're inundating us, drowning us with nothing but falsehoods, with in our dreams, and those of us who get voice to skull, and then also the synthetic voice to skull, where you don't hear anything, but your subconscious does. So that's what I wanted to leave with you. Look up perception management, because it's a really It's a powerful tool that they use.
Are there any books about it you can recommend?
I don't know any books right offhand, but there's you could do plenty of research online, just looking it up, and there are a lot of published in journals and stuff. Very important.
Gotcha. And my listeners on the recording can do that research at their leisure. Very good, Anthony. Very good.
Well, there was another assassination attempt on Donald Trump.
I heard that. Come on in, Charlie.
Yeah, it was by a 21-year-old. He had a shotgun and a gas can with him. And most of the talking heads on the news don't understand why. Why would a 21-year-old who has his whole life ahead of him do this? So there's, you never know. He may be mind controlled by the deep state, just like us. But,
well, it's very possible. That's very possible indeed.
Interesting thing about that. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, a little off topic, but I heard that the Chinese have new radar that can detect stealth aircraft within a certain range, and that's why we haven't attacked Iran as of yet. So that's interesting. New radar. That's what we need.
So your sister has reached. Oh, go ahead. What's up?
I would like to ask a quick question regarding. This is Sunshine. How is it that they so they will chase you down So I just went to an area outside of San Diego because I didn't want to lead them to my house. So I'm waiting for a friend to open their gate in a town above. It's called Awanga, above Temecula wine country. And they literally have their lights beaming on me right now. They're flashing things from the mountains. It's weird. It's super creepy. How do they have access? They were making the dogs bark on. This is private property. People will shoot you if you come up on their property. And these people take liberties. They think they own everything. They just do whatever they want. And I'm blown away that they get away with it. Have you ever seen that where they flash you you'll in the dark? They'll be in the mountains. They'll flash you from the mountains. It looks like a super bright flash, and then they'll go up in the mountains on private property and put their lights on you. It's insane.
They do have white lasers, so you better be careful because they go after your eyes. So you want to wear some type of eye protection. Head Andrew says to wear those blue blockers. So okay. I don't think he ever leaves the house without those blue blocker orange eyeglasses. So don't look at the mountains.
Has anyone experienced that where they they'll park in every in an area that's got forest or woods, and they'll angle in different directions at you?
It's called brighting.
What's it called?
Brighting. They'll leave their lights on you in a certain direction.
What the hell is why? Why are they doing this?
Not flash, but divert. Seems like they diverting the sunshine, using a mirror into my windows. But it could be a laser, and it just gives them an excuse. If you say something, it was just a reflection from the sun, right, off a shiny object. But it could be a laser that they're hitting you with. You got these people are just evil beyond approach, and you got to be careful about your eyesight. And
they can't figure out. I think a lot of the stuff they do on me, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And they're tripping on me. I'm like a live Neo. And I can actually, I think I told you on this call before, maybe with you, that I can like redirect my thoughts so they think I'm going to be somewhere else, and I fool them and I'm somewhere else. So it's weird. It's just, but I didn't think they would chase me back to this neighborhood, like where I have a whole surf tribe, and I've grown up my entire life. I have a whole community, and they did. It's unbelievable.
There's no place you can go. I've been to 7 different countries, and they've chased me, halfway around the world. So it doesn't matter. That's nothing, to chase you back to a community in San Diego.
That's what his house. I don't know. It could be his house after.
Wait, I don't know who that is talking, but
what? He might still answer because he might be in home.
So what? Okay, there's some kind of interference, but
please stand by, Sunshine. We have interference.
Okay.
Okay, we were talking about MKUltra, but I guess we're talking about something else now. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to know. So you've been to 7 different countries. So why is it like so my friend's father is like a surf legend, and he just surfs and he just watches palm trees. That's all he does. And they don't he's never had anything like that happen. And then I've talked to somebody else whose mother has a ranch, and she's like kind of like unconscious, I would say, not totally unconscious, but it's not some I don't know what all that noise is. It's annoying. Well, I'm trying to talk, but why is it that some people just never get it? Like they don't, like some people they just do not mess with.
Well, I mean,
Hello?
the big secret is that they are messing with literally everybody. I mean, that is the big secret, that this is a nationwide mind control project that has been in culmination since the 1950s, starting with MKUltra. And with MKUltra, using scientists like Delgado, they figured out that they could basically inject, a small chip or transistor, a transducer, whatever you want to call it, in order to interpret radio waves, radio frequency, into something that could neuromodulate the human brain. And all that they needed at that time was something that could put you into different brain states. So basically something that could knock you into a hypnotic state. And then it seems like there was a different technology that they were using, which was the microwave auditory effect, which I think is transmitted over extremely low frequency, which is something that is, it would use the chip, which would basically have a radio frequency identifier in order for like geopositioning to know where you were, and then they could hit you with a satellite, which could beam, it could basically beam words into your head. And by doing
that's what they're doing right now. They're doing that right now. There's this thing that it looks like the
same stuff that they're using to harass people with the auditory V2K. They could use, once they knock you into a hypnotic state, they can use it to hypnotize you. So it's the same technology, and the same thing when you're asleep, like he was talking about with D2K. When you're asleep, they can use this in a post-hypnotic suggestion or hypnotic priming type of way in order to guide your dreams, and kind of hypnotically prime you or to program you while you're asleep, because they have a direct line to your subconscious. So it's all connected. They just basically had to use just a few different technologies, and they could completely remotely program people and remotely hypnotize people. So that's what we're dealing with, and yeah.
There's a thing in the sky that looks like a star, a satellite. It's like right above my head, super high in the sky, and it's making my third eye feel really weird. So I'm putting my hand up so I don't see it, and then they're moving it. It's not real. It's not a star. So is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean they're literally, I mean right now they're scrambling your brain and they're freaking you out, and they're making you're already in kind of a they've created a rut in your brain, and they have you thinking about things in a very strange way, which is totally normal. It's not your fault, and is nothing to insult you or anything like that. But I experienced it myself, where they would put me into extremely strange states for weeks on end, where I was trying to figure out what was going on, and you can't really think straight because you're dealing with extreme post-hypnotic suggestion, and an extreme elevated state of anxiety and fear, because you are being targeted and people are doing stuff to you, and you don't know who it is or why they're doing it, or what it is exactly that they're doing. So you are stuck in a reactionary state where you're trying to figure out what's going on, who's doing it, where are they coming from, how do I stop it, and all of those questions cannot be answered because there's no way to find the answer to them clearly.
You know the question that you're asking about the light, why they're shining the light on you and that kind of thing. Okay, let me tell you. Let me walk you through this. Okay. If you're familiar with the electromagnetic spectrum, it starts from photon, and then you got the radio frequency. So you got AM, FM radio, television, then microwave. Then you got the visible spectrum that we can see, which is only 0.0035% of the whole spectrum. So we got the visual spectrum of light we can see. And then we go into like X-rays and gamma rays at the very, very end. So what in the past, when they were doing voice to skull, they did it by what is called microwave voice to skull was microwave hearing, or the Frey effect, and they used the microwave band. Now they've switched all that radio frequency and microwave stuff is old school. Now everything has switched to visual light communication. So that's why all of our light bulbs have been switched out throughout on our streets, all of our lights, our street lights and all that stuff, and all of our bulbs that we purchase for our homes, they've all been switched out to the new ones. Now, all of that is communicating with your body area network, whether you know it or not. Each and every one of us, targets and non-targets. And so now that light that you're seeing that people are pointing at you, that could be part of it. But also take into consideration that there is part of the light spectrum that we don't see is we only see 0.0035%. So all of the rest we can't see, and it's all invisible. Okay, so so that light, like when we change the channel on your television screen, you use your remote control. Well, you don't see any beam of light. You don't see any beam of light there, but there is light, but it's beyond our visual spectrum. So we can't see it, but it's still there. And that's what they're pointing at us around the clock. It's a visual light beam that we cannot see.
Yes. And what you're talking about is infrared. So infrared.
It's called optogenetics and visual light communications.
They call it LiDAR or Li-Fi. Li-Fi is the newer iteration of it. Where, if you have fluorescent light bulbs in your home, change them out. Get rid of fluorescent light. Not fluorescent. I'm sorry, LED. Get rid of LED light in your home and change it over to old-fashioned fluorescent or even incandescent. Either one of those. And the biggest thing to do is on your cell phone. Right on your cell phone, I would say it's about a half-inch from your inward-facing camera, there is an infrared light. There's an infrared light that is constantly blasting you in the face whenever you look in your cell phone. And what the cover story is that it is for biometrics, for screen unlocks, and to know when you are using your phone. So it basically senses when your head is close to the phone during a phone call so that you don't press the screen with your face. But what they're actually doing is, and I caught this on my night vision camera, is constantly strobing infrared light into your face while you're looking at your phone. So it is blasting your eyes with a strobing infrared light. And I take a piece of electrical tape and I cover up that infrared light because that is just basically constantly strobing you with an invisible light that you can't see right into your eyes.
Where do you put the tape on the camera?
No, the actual infrared light where it strobes out of, it's about a ½ inch to the right on most phones, iPhones or Android. It's about a ½ inch from your it's basically right if you go about a ½ inch from your inward facing camera, it's right on the border on the top of your screen, right on the edge of the camera. So it's basically right where the actual screen touches the edge of your phone, like the edge of your screen. And that's where it is. And that thing, if you have a camera system that uses night vision, if you record your phone while you're using it, you'll see it. It's just constantly flashing. It's strobing an infrared light. And whenever you look at your phone, that crap is hitting you right. It's blasting you right in the eyes. So this guy is right. They're using the newest way of kind of programming people that they're doing is it's called like Li-Fi, and basically this is an older tech that is now becoming more mainstream. Now they're figuring out a way to actually use it to transmit information between computers, but our brain is a computer.
Yeah, they use Li-Fi in offices. The lighting has the signal, and the computer has a receiver that receives the light. They already use it.
Yeah,
that is so strange. I recently I put a little piggy sticker on the phone. Like, I don't know why I did it. It must have been my intuition, but I put a pig sticker like above the camera and onto the right, so it's covering that whole area. It's interesting. I did that 2 weeks ago.
I was gonna ask if there's a Li-Fi equivalent on a laptop. Chris, can you elaborate more on that, please?
Yeah, if you have a device that works with Li-Fi, you can use a laptop on it, yes. But the laptop itself doesn't have a Li-Fi receiver on it unless it's very fancy. Average laptop
So it's
wouldn't
kind of
have that.
so in a way, does that mean it's kind of cleaner than like a cell phone that Ben is saying has that Wi-Fi?
It's just an alternative way to get a computer signal to your desktop in an office setting, mostly is what it's used for, yes.
What you were saying earlier. Go ahead.
Thank you. Sorry. Ben, is there, I'm not sure if I phrased my question in a way that's understood, but like, is there a Wi-Fi equivalent that's equally harming on a laptop the way you were describing it on a cell phone? Thank you.
As far as I know, they don't have infrared sensors on laptops, it seems like with most of the TIs I know, they are discouraged from using their computer, and they want you to use your phone because your phones are basically they're all set up with this infrared sensor that seems to have this type of hypnotic effect of using infrared strobing lights that you can't see when you're looking at it, but it has an effect on your brain. And I know with me personally, they destroyed my computer repeatedly until I couldn't afford to rebuild it again. So now I just have to use my phone. And I know when I have to look at my phone to do my research and do my Substack articles. I get zonked out when I use my phone for a prolonged period of time, and I take breaks and I get out in the sun. Do anything I can. I drink coffee to try to snap myself out of the weird, kind of states that they put my mind in. But yeah, as far as I know, laptops, they don't have that infrared sensor because the reason why they have it on phones is for the face unlock feature and for the feature of if you're using the phone so that the phone it knows when you're basically on a phone call. So if you hold it up to your head, you can't press the buttons with the side of your face, or press the screen with the side of your face and disrupt the phone call. So they don't have a reason to put it into laptops, as far as I know.
But it also would have, a laptop would also have the blue light, which is said to be also like hypnotizing, or maybe not hypnotizing. Maybe hypnotizing is a little strong there, but
the screen itself. The screen itself puts out a blue light, which is not healthy.
The blue light disrupts your endocrine system and causes hormone disruption, and it disrupts your circadian rhythm. And then beyond that, I wouldn't put it past them at all to be able to use any type of LED screen, because the reason why LED is so dangerous is because it can be made to flicker at any rate. So they can use it the same way that infrared is used, to flicker it at an imperceptible rate in order to change brain states, because light is these type of things can.
It could cause seizures and epileptics, and usually like a red light would do it at a certain pulse, at a frequency, but they could do it with the white light, but they could pulse it, and it could cause epilepsy, and it doesn't have to be red like usually does.
Yeah, and the epileptic and seizure reactions are an extreme reaction that they can cause, which is definitely, then people know what's going on. But beyond that, there's imperceptible, middle ground type of things that they can do to do different strobes that can change brain states, which would be imperceptible. You would just think that you're tired. You would just, there's no real way to measure it. But yeah, at the extreme, I would say angles of what they're doing. Yeah, the seizure is the extreme angle where they could cause an actual seizure. But yeah, there's a middle ground where it's imperceptible. You don't really know anything's really happening. You just kind of get put into a weird, brain state, changing your brain waves.
Yeah, and it seems as if it induces a kind of transfixed or fixation that can make it difficult to put the device away. A kind of an addicting like
the serotonin high,
yeah,
maybe like a like a reward. I see it too. I feel it too. Mm-hmm. Also, it's important to. They say to try to stay off your phone screen 2 hours before you go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've figured out lots of ways to create, basically hijacking your dopamine, dopamine reward system in order to keep you on your phone, and the social media stuff has its own reward system. Through like a random reward system, with getting likes and comments, which trigger a dopamine response and keep you on there. But then, there seems to be a deeper, I'd say, extension of the MKULTRA research that they figured out in order to cause like a mind control type of effect with the strobing of lights, which was always a part of MKULTRA.
That's true. Thank you for that. Let's switch to the book club real quick. The second book I'm reading is Lies My Government Told Me by Dr. Robert Malone. If you're into the COVID conspiracy and all that stuff, it's a great book to check out. I gave it an 8. The MKTECH book, which is basically the root of our conversation, is a 9.5, and it's available in our book club. Go ahead, Ben.
Oh, me? Oh, yeah. You let me talk? Okay. No, I did a big piece which I was just looking up now. I'll post it on the COVID conspiracy and its connection to Wi-Fi and 5G. COVID was basically 5G was rolled out in 2019, And then directly after that, in 2020, they released pathogens that they developed, which was all 7 of the variants of COVID, and released them. And the research that I did, which worked off of the great work of Dr. Staniger Hildegard, or Dr. Hildegard Staniger and Dr. Malcia, was that the spike protein in COVID was directly reactive to 5G, where they could basically use 5G in order to make the spike protein on COVID-19 more reactive and more infectious. And that is why you saw some people, who are perfectly healthy that got infected with COVID, nothing happened, and other people that are perfectly healthy died because they could basically cause, a much more infectious reaction and an inflammation of your entire body and a reaction with your immune system by using 5G. And it was a coordinated effort, which they had, which Bill Gates and other and the WEF, they worked together in order to set this whole thing up, because it was part of a larger program to figure out the link between the body and electromagnetic frequencies in order to target populations and kill off people and cause massive I would say shutdown of what's it called? Shutdown of companies, shutdown of I'm trying to think of the word. I feel like my brain is being blocked right now, so I'm trying to think of
commerce.
Commerce, yeah.
Like supply chain. Supply chain.
Thank you. That's what I was trying to think of. Yeah, it was all a carefully coordinated thing of how can we shut down supply chains of certain areas and companies, and how can we safeguard certain companies and areas to preserve the supply chain and restart them, after the disruption, basically as a weaponized way of being able to shut down certain countries while keeping other countries intact, depending on if they were playing ball with the Western Empire that was setting up this program. Yeah, I'll post my article I did on that.
Yeah, post that on the chat room for everybody. And again, if you're on Spotify listening to this or watching on your favorite platform, Ben, can you give them your Substack address, please?
Yeah, I mean, you can find me. It's Benjamin Canine. I posted it in the chat, but it's Benjamin Canine. So it's Benjamin, and Canine is spelled Conine. I'm civilians against RF weapons is my Substack, but yeah, the COVID thing was basically the factors they had for trying to get massive control over people, which was they're trying to basically inundate everybody with chemtrails and this nanotech, getting the nanotech into people's central nervous system. And chemtrails had a very low efficacy rate. They didn't really work that well. So what they figured out is we will introduce a pathogen, and then right after that we'll introduce these vaccines, these injections, in order so people will just inject the nanotech directly into their body, and it will have a much higher efficacy rate. Basically a much higher, chance of getting nanotech into people's brains, and bypass that blood-brain barrier, which was the problem that they were having, because the human body is amazing. It's very good at filtering out crap like that, and you have a blood-brain barrier that usually rejects stuff like that, but then they basically just...
It's a special sheathing that, I won't say mylar sheathing, but yeah, it's special around the brain.
Yeah, and there's basically like endothelial cells that protect your body, and they'd already designed 5G to basically disrupt those cells from basically protecting your body from nanotech and from other toxins which would damage your brain. But it was a twofold effort. It was to introduce 5G and get high-speed routers into people's houses that would create this EMF that would open up the blood-brain barrier or damage it, but then also inject people at the same time with this these Department of Defense designed vaccines, which they worked through Moderna, which Moderna never had a vaccine ever, and they were just basically dubbed to have this basically Department of Defense vaccine marketed through them and then injected into people under threat of losing their jobs. So they just injected people left and right. The big side effect that everybody focused on was the creation of blood clots, which caused heart attacks and stroke. But that was just a side effect. That wasn't the main thing that they were going for. The main thing that they were doing was trying to introduce this nanotech that would, once it was got past the blood-brain barrier and basically settled on your brain, it caused inflammation, which caused scarring, which caused your brain to inundate it in an effort to heal itself, so that this nanotech basically becomes a part of your brain and gets worked into the tissue as it starts to regenerate. And that turns your brain into basically, it turns it into an antenna for this larger RF-based mind control system. And that's what they were going for with all this.
That's really interesting, Ben. Does anyone have a comment for Ben?
I joined the call late, so I don't know if you all already covered this or not, but have any of you, Anthony or Chris or Ben, done a deep dive into Epstein documents? There was apparently he had an in with DARPA. I've just seen that he was scheduled to have an appointment with the head of it at the time, I think. But I haven't done more reading. And there was also apparently the DARPA health project that he was interested in. Anything, and then also there's the I think it's a 300-page document related to or that specifically uses the phrase targeted individual.
Yeah, I saw that on the Epstein feed, that they literally included mind control in the information they received.
Oh yeah, there's Epstein. Epstein was a front man for this larger effort that's going on, which is a collaboration between Israel and American Department of Defense and intelligence agencies, and they are basically they have a manyfold approach to this, where they're using human trafficking, including mostly child trafficking, as a way to blackmail people, but then they are also using it as a multiple front for human experimentation, which includes everything from experimenting on different genotypes and looking at genetic links to, again, we go back to the Project Stargate and the research into certain human beings' abilities to access altered states and higher consciousness. But then there's a link to, a big link to his experimentation to figure out remote EEG monitoring and control, which he was working with several different neuroscientists. So he was in contact with people from MIT, people from Harvard. He was funding a lot of universities, and then he was a go-between doing all of this. And then on top of that, he was a big go-between with setting up vaccine projects, which he was working with Bill Gates and working with people that were setting up vaccine projects in Middle Eastern countries around Israel in order to make sure that vaccines were being given to the native population of Afghanistan and Iraq in order, I think, in order to spread this neurotechnology so that they could basically have unwitting spies. Because once they have this stuff in your body, they can basically use you as a camera in order to gain intelligence, and also turn people into Manchurian candidates, all that stuff. So they were doing all of that with this technology, and I posted in the chat. I'll post it again. This is an excellent video that was done by.
Thank you for that.
A man from Denmark, which he basically went through the Epstein files, showing the link between Epstein, big tech, and intelligence agencies, Bill Gates, and then a number of different charitable organizations, quote unquote, that are trying to spread vaccines. So there's that direct link between this neurotech, human experimentation, and vaccines, and intelligence gathering, which is going on.
Gotcha. Well, thank you for that, Ben. Thank you for your question. We're going to end the recording, but we're going to keep the conversation going. So thank you on your favorite platform for watching. Please like, subscribe, and make a comment. I read them all. If you're on Spotify, thank you for listening. This is show number 200. We'll be back next week with, I believe, Joy is coming to join us on the show. So thank you for watching. We're going to end the recording now.